He asked me a bunch of questions to determine whether or not I have ADHD. He started out, he was like, all right, I'm going to give you 3 shapes and colors together. So like a blue square, a yellow triangle, and an orange or a red circle. All right, repeat those back to me. So I repeated them back to him. He goes, okay, I'm gonna ask you again what those are in 5 minutes. I said, okay. He asked me 5 minutes later. I couldn't remember a single goddamn one of them. I could just remember the shapes. Red circle, yellow triangle, blue square, which I think is actually correct, probably because the medication is actually working now. And then he was like,
but
okay.
You couldn't back in the...
No, I basically could remember what the shapes were. I could remember the shapes, I could remember the colors, I couldn't remember which one with which.
It's a polka dot rhombus, give me drugs!
Give me drugs! Give me drugs! Then he asked, what is 93 minus 7? And I was like, the moment he asked that question, my brain just went, like, you know when you turn an old CRT monitor off and it goes like, pew, pew? That's what my brain did the moment he asked me what 93 minus 7 was.
Mm-hmm. Blink, 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 blink.
92, 91, 90.
Count on your fingers.
98, 97, 96, 95. It's 95. Yeah, it took me like way too long to do it. And then I realized that I could just do, like, why didn't I just do 93 minus 10, which is 83 plus 3. 80. Yeah, to get to 86. Mm-hmm. How many presidents back can you remember? And I was like, oh my god, okay. This one I feel like I kind of had an unfair advantage of because I like history. I like learning about history.
I memorized the Animaniacs song, so 1776.
Yeah, 1776. It was relatively easy for me just to be like, okay, so it's Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton, Bush, and I think Reagan.
Yep.
I got hung up after Bill Clinton. I couldn't remember who was before Bill Clinton for a minute. My mind kept going, Reagan, it's Reagan. And it's like, it's not 1980s, it's Reagan. It's like, it's not Reagan yet. We haven't gotten to Reagan. So.
Then back to Carter, and then
Carter, and then who's before Carter? Nixon. No, Gerald Ford, and then Nixon, and then Lyndon Johnson, and then Kennedy.
Reciting these in reverse order is kind of impressive.
And then who was before Kennedy? I don't remember who was before, Eisenhower. Eisenhower was before Kennedy, and then before Eisenhower was Truman, and then FDR, and then I straight up do not remember who was before FDR.
Okay.
But that's as far back as I can go on those ones. Was it Hoover?
Woodrow Wilson?
Oh, it might have been Woodrow Wilson.
One of those, maybe. Anyway.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was interesting. It basically was like every single question he asked me, and my brain was just like, duh, look at the thing on the table. And I'm just like, no, we're not. This dude's got like 12 rocks on his table, and I want to look at every single one of those rocks, but I gotta answer these questions because otherwise he won't give me ADHD medication.
Did he put the rocks on the table to see if you would get distracted and
probably?
Medication?
I'm just like, look at the rocks, and it's just like, no, don't look at the rocks. Answer the questions about ADHD.
He saw you eyeing those rocks up.
Saw me staring at him, just like looking at them covetously. Just like, I like that rock. That rock is a fun shape.
Was that igneous? Give me that.
I'm finally on ADHD medication again, so hopefully it actually works properly. God, I hope it does. I kind of feel like maybe it's working already.
Okay.
The only problem with ADHD medication is you can't just go get your prescription refilled.
Because it's meth.
Because it's fucking an amphetamine.
I did not know Adderall was meth.
Yeah, Adderall. Well, it's not meth, but it is an amphetamine. It's not a methamphetamine. It is an amphetamine, though.
All right. It's so funny to say. I gotta pick up my meth from the.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta go get my meth real quick. Pervitin is an amphetamine.
Right.
That's. I shouldn't say it's the only reason, but it's one of the primary reasons that their rush into their blitzkrieg into France worked so well, which they didn't invent blitzkrieg. Everyone says that they invented blitzkrieg. They didn't invent blitzkrieg. Oh. The concept of moving really fast to overwhelm your enemy with a surprise attack totally was invented by the Germans. It wasn't. Anyway, that was one of the reasons that the blitzkrieg into France went so well for them is because they were all just fucking cracked out on meth.
Yeah.
They were just blasted. On methamphetamines, which, by the way, read, if you would like to know more, read the book Blitzed. It's about the Germans' infatuation with drugs.
Oh.
It worked
To an extent.
It worked. Like, you get your soldiers all blitzed up so they don't have to eat, they don't have to sleep. All they want to do is just keep moving forward and shoot at stuff. I mean, yeah, that works. That does it.
Is it ethical? Well, is war ethical? Well, now we're going into a spiral.
Yeah, now we're going into a complete spiral. It's, I'm not saying... It's not any more or less ethical than combat itself is, but it ain't good.
Do you think...
And now I'm taking it willingly.
Do you think the Germans had a time machine and went into the future to study StarCraft so they could learn how to Zerg rush the French?
They watched the Zerg Rush tutorial. Kyle, it worked! I will thrust my mighty roach dick.
Jeez.
When I went to go to the appointment this morning, he was like, "Why do you think you have ADHD?" And I was like, Brother, I got so many examples for you. The one that came to mind immediately was, alright, so this morning, I got up to come here, and I thought, I want to wear a hat today, so make sure you put on a hat. Make sure you put on a hat. Make sure you put on a hat. Put on a hat. Put on a hat. Have breakfast. Well, first you have to get up. You gotta wash your face. You gotta get your hair fixed. You gotta have breakfast. Make sure you eat food. Oh, there's a package outside. Gotta bring the package inside. What are these packages from? I don't remember this one. I don't remember ordering this thing either. I ordered both these things and I don't know where they came from. All right, got my whatever. Put the packages down. I can't open them right now. I'm busy. I gotta get ready to go to my appointment to make sure to get medicine for having ADHD because I clearly fucking have it. Get the packages, put those down, get my bag, got my stuff, got all the things, get out the door, get in the car. I get down the road, and I'm like 20 minutes down the road, and I never put on a fucking hat.
Dang.
It's like...
Were you late to your appointment, or did you just not have a hat?
No, I was actually early to my appointment.
Oh.
Because that's one of the great things about ADHD is you're either incredibly early or you're incredibly late. You're never on time. I was reading a story about someone that had ADHD, and they were talking... Well, I think it was their partner had ADHD. And they were talking about how they went and got in the car to go somewhere, and their partner saw a cough drop on the dashboard and just started like sobbing uncontrollably.
All right.
And they were like, "What? What's wrong? What's going on?" And they said that cough drop has been on the dashboard for 3 weeks, and every single time they get in the car, they see the cough drop and they go, "Oh, I need to throw that away." And then they go do their errands. They get home, they completely forget about the cough drop. They go inside, then they come back out to get in the car later, and the cough drop is still there, and they go, "Oh, I need to throw that away. I need to remember to bring that inside with me." And because it had been like 3 weeks of, I need to remember to bring that inside with me, and they just couldn't do it.
Dang.
And it's just like, that is exactly what having ADHD is like. It's a stupid fucking cough drop on a dashboard that you just keep forgetting about over and over and over and over. Do
you have any examples from your personal life you'd like to share? Aside from the hat, obviously.
Let Me Know, the YouTuber Let Me Know came out with a video that was like 2 hours long on addressing the conspiracy of Lee Harvey Oswald shooting JFK. And that video had just come out and I was like, "Oh, I want to watch that." So I put it on my computer. I sat down, I put it on my computer. I got less than 30 seconds into it and I thought, I could do something else while I'm watching this video. Why aren't I doing a second thing? Oh, there's an album I really wanted to record onto a cassette tape. So I paused the video, get up, go over where my cassette tapes are, start looking for the album on my iTunes to see how long the album is and see if I have a cassette tape that's of a similar length so that I can record it onto that thing. And then I'm like, "Oh, wait, I don't know where the cord is to plug my cassette tape or to plug my Sony cassette recorder into my phone because I have a whole cord system hooked up for that. I don't know where that went. Where the hell did that one go?" So I couldn't find it, and I was like, "Well, I guess it's lost. Oh well, I'll start looking up." So I go on Amazon and I'm looking for peripherals to connect them together, and I'm like, "Oh, the cassette I have is 46 minutes long. I wonder if I could find a 42-minute long one because then I wouldn't have it." So now I'm looking up cassette tapes. I still haven't watched the fucking video. An hour has gone by and I'm looking at other shit and it's just, I still haven't watched the video.
You're trying to multitask, which is respectable, but...
I cannot multitask. Having ADHD will not let me multitask to the point that when I used to write stuff, I haven't written in God only knows how long, but when I used to write more frequently, when I would write stuff, if I listened to any music with lyrics in it, I would start writing down the lyrics. I cannot multitask like that. I can type and talk to somebody and look at them, not look at the computer screen. I can be typing and talking to somebody and still typing correctly, but I cannot listen to music with lyrics in it and type at the same time.
Fair enough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's the ADHD is just a lot of me forgetting shit.
Okay.
I have a really hard time remembering things. I'll make notes on my phone, and then I forget to check the notes that I've made on my phone.
Well, human memory is just inherently so unreliable.
It's inherently garbage, yeah. Like, I say all the time that our brain is a faulty meat computer.
Right.
It's just like, it don't work great.
Yeah, I keep a to-do list just for menial tasks, otherwise my silly little brain will forget.
I know, but like... but then the problem is I have a to-do list, and then I have a to-do list to check that first to-do list, and then I don't check either of those to-do lists. Because it's just like, nope, there's something else, go do this thing! And it's just, alright, fine, I'm going and doing that now.
Okay.
Like, the example of the cough drop on the dashboard, I have basically, like, that exact same thing, where there's a wheel cleaning brush for, like, making sure that the wheels of your vehicle look nice, that's in the trunk of my car, that's been back there for a month now?
Okay.
And I keep meaning to take it out of my car and put it into the little tote I have in my covered parking space. And I keep forgetting to do it. We'll see. We'll see now. This will be the test now. Is that I have ADHD medication. When I get home, if I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that goes in there, and I just like immediately remember to do it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. Did that not try to transition you into ADD medication first, or was it immediately into the ADHD?
There really isn't such thing as ADD anymore. It's only ADHD.
I suspected, but I'm also out of the loop, so I didn't know.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. Is that ADD doesn't exist anymore. It's just ADHD. Like how there used to be...
Shell shock?
Yeah, kind of like how there used to be shell shock. Or how there used to be high-functioning autism, and then autism, and now it's just...
A spectrum.
It's just a spectrum, yeah.
Okay.
It's basically, you are on the... If you have ADHD, you're on, like, I guess, the spectrum of ADHD.
The hyper-performance spectrum.
Yeah, it's somewhere on there. Which apparently ADHD and autism have very high comorbidity. As in,
they're more likely to be associated with each other?
If you have ADHD, it's very possible you have autism.
Okay.
And well, I don't know about vice versa, but similarly, if you have autism, you might have ADHD.
The word morbidity is a bit of misleading, because when you hear that, you think, oh, so if you have both, you're more likely to die.
Yeah, it's comorbidity, but I don't...
No, I guess that commortality, it's fine.
On the topic of words sounding weird, I hate the phrase well, I don't mind the phrase vice versa. The way you say it correctly sounds wrong.
Vice versa?
No, you say it vice versa.
Oh.
That's the correct way to say that. Oh, I guess it would be in Italian, wouldn't it be like vice versa or something? I don't know.
I don't know. We're not speaking Italian.
Latin? I guess in Latin it would be whatever.
They're all Romance languages.
The correct way to say it sounds wrong to my head. So I just say vice versa.
What is the correct way to say it if everyone says it the, quote, incorrect way?
Words have meaning! No.
I'm tired of you and your prescriptivist linguistics, Zach!
Prescriptivist linguistics? Is that real? Did you make that up?
No, it's real.
Oh, okay.
It's when you try to prescribe language to people and tell them how they're supposed to use their words.
I will tell everyone how to use their words.
Language should be descriptivist!
Language should be festivus. For the rest of us. Giant metal pole in the living room.
Celebrate it all around the mulberry bush.
Should put the airing of grievances must happen. So there's that ADHD again.
Because I haven't gotten completely rid of it.
People, when I read things, this happened a lot in Diablo 3, and I've noticed it happens occasionally now, where I'll glance at something and my brain basically sees the thing. It's so difficult to describe how this happens. When I like glance at a word, I don't take the time to actually read it. My brain just fills in what it thinks that word is.
Mm-hmm.
To that end, when I used to play Diablo 3, there's an item in the game that's called Arcane Dust. But my brain I just glanced at it when I was playing the game the first time it popped up, and my brain read it as Arcade Dust.
Okay.
So it was just like, that's Arcade Dust.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really funny. So for the rest of the time I played it, I just referred to it as Arcade Dust.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really difficult for me to do it, like, I can't do it spur of the moment, because the moment I try to be like, oh, as an example, I see that, I can't do that, because now I'm actually focusing on that word.
Now I'm reading the words.
Yeah, so it's difficult for me to do it as an example, but it's humorous and annoying when my brain does that.
All right, hope your ADHD calms down.
I'm really hoping that the ADHD medication helps with a lot of the other stuff, because I've been having a lot of really bad depression lately, and anxiety, and just being absolutely fucking miserable. One of the things that happens to people with ADHD is when ADHD is untreated, they get all of these other things because their brain is running at 1,000,000 miles a minute trying to do everything. And that is so emotionally taxing that their brain cannot do that. They get anxiety and depression from just being emotionally overtaxed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If it's untreated, you get really bad anxiety and depression from just your brain is constantly on high alert trying to do everything. And because you're trying to multitask everything and do everything, and you can't do that, this is my problem specifically. I feel like I'm letting everybody down. I'm letting everyone down, and I'm letting myself down because I can't do all of these things at once. I keep forgetting stuff. I'm not on time for things. I keep forgetting things. And so I'm letting everyone down. And that makes me really depressed. And it's like, why? Well, just fix it. Just fix the problem. Well, I can't fix the problem because it's the problem is coming from inside the house. I can't fix the problem because I'm unable to fix it, which makes me even more sad and more depressed because I can't fix the problem. And now I'm still letting everybody down. So it turns into this vicious cycle of I'm letting everyone down, which makes me sad. And then me being sad it's really kind of a bummer to be around me when I'm just like all the time. So it's like, that makes me even more sad because now nobody wants to be around me, or at least I think. No one wants to be around me because I'm incredibly mopey and depressed and sad all the time, which makes me more sad. And then I'm still letting people down, which makes me even more sad. So it turns into this vicious cycle of I'm sad, which makes no one want to be around me, which makes me more sad, which makes nobody want to be around me. Anyway, that got off on a whole different tangent. One of the things that happens to people with ADHD is when they start getting treated for ADHD, a lot of these symptoms of anxiety and depression start to go away because the symptoms of ADHD are causing them to suffer duress and have anxiety and depression. So when you start treating ADHD, because the symptoms of ADHD start going away, they become less depressed.
Okay, I hope that's true for you.
God, I hope so, because I've been having a fucking time. Flashlight.
Woo, it's bright.
It's like it's a high candela flashlight. It's
I would expect nothing less from you.
I think 80,000 candela.
That's many thousands of candela.
So it's got a really very prominent hotspot on it.
Yeah, it does.
And it's also got a low mode.
I feel like if you got stuck at sea, you'd be able to use it to start fires.
Maybe. I guess if I had someone's glasses or a magnifying lens, I could maybe do that.
Possibly.
When I was in Iraq, we had these lights that were the Surefire. I think it's the Hellfighter. I think that's the name of it. It's a Surefire Hellfighter. And it's a spotlight that you mount to medium and heavy machine guns. And it is probably the body of the light is probably I would say somewhere between 7 inches to a foot long. It's got a carry handle on the top of it. And this thing was so bright and so stupidly hot that it had an IR filter for the front of it. That when you put the IR filter down, because it was an incandescent light bulb, when you put the IR filter down, you could see IR light coming out of this.
It would make infrared light, just red light.
Just almost barely visible. Like, you could see the red, the light come. That's how bright this, anyway. It was incredibly bright. We, at one point, lit a cigarette by taking the light and holding someone's glasses. Granted, they had big old fucking Coke bottle lenses. Mm-hmm. But we could hold someone's glasses near the light for as long as we could tolerate and use it to light a cigarette, which is just stupid. You could power the only way this light would be powered was you had to run it into the vehicle itself that it was on. But you could theoretically power it and have it in handheld mode. The way to power it in handheld mode was by using, I'm pretty sure, 3 of the batteries you use to power a single Singar's radio.
Okay.
So basically a car battery you have to hook up to this thing to power. It was stupid. That light was insane. I kind of want one.
Why did you use those?
They used them at nighttime. They used them as a spotlight on a weapon system at nighttime.
Okay.
And like you would use it in conjunction with night vision goggles. So at nighttime you had a really bright infrared spotlight that you could use to spot things. But yeah, like we really only used them at nighttime. And to be completely honest, like I don't think we really. I didn't personally use them that much. I can't speak for the infantry. I don't know how much the grunts used them. But, like, I kind of want one.
You want one of everything.
I have 0 use for it, and I also don't have the batteries to power the damn thing.
Nah.
So, like, it would be completely pointless, and I've seen them for sale. They sell for, like, a couple $1,000s.
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't really something they sold on the civil. I think you could get one on the civilian market, but it would be like, why? What would be the point?
Yeah,
Like, I guess if you want to use them for shining deer, but then you're gonna set the deer on fire, so it's like we used to joke and call it the death ray. It's just because it's just this massive flashlight. I'm gonna show you a picture of one.
Just a fucking laser.
It was ridiculous. I wonder if they made an LED version. Oh, they've made a new one! Oh my god! Oh my god, they've come out with a new one. Okay, so that's the original one. Oh yeah, $2,399 for the original Hellfighter. Oh yeah, there's one mounted to the end of a 50 cal machine gun.
Okay.
Yeah, they are stupid. Like, from what I understand, a lot of times air crews would use them. They mount them to like a minigun on a helicopter so that when you're, a couple 100 feet above the ground, you can still spot something with a machine gun.
Okay.
Yeah, they were dumb. And like I said, I still kind of want one. But, like, I can't use that. I can't use that for anything. It would just sit somewhere. I'm willing to spend dumb money on things for it just to literally sit there and do nothing. But my limit on spending a stupid amount of money on something for me to not use it and it just to sit there and me to look at it and be like, yay, is about $500.
So $49.99 is as much as you'll spend on some random garbage.
Yeah, on some random garbage, like a meteorite or a solid chunk of tungsten. That's about the maximum I'm willing to spend on something for me just to sit there and stare at it and go, I like that thing.
I'm happier because that thing is in my proximity.
Yeah, that's how I feel about most of the tchotchkes I have. Is they just make me happy by being in proximity to me. I bought a wood block the other day. I bought a wood block that's like 6 inches by 2.5 inches. It's for a lawn game called KUBB.
Okay.
Which is also known as Viking chess. And it's one of the pieces for KUBB that I bought just one of because I wanted to put it on my desk and have this wood block that I can pick up and hold it and go, yep. And right now it's a paperweight on my desk, but occasionally when I'm watching YouTube videos, I just pick it up and hold on to it and look at it and kind of run my thumb along it and go, yep, that's a wood block. And then I put it back.
Okay.
It's
a little fidgeter thing.
It was like $11, so whatever.
Okay.
KUBB is kind of a neat game. It's spelled KUBB.
Oh.
Just so you know, KUBB.
Okay.
KUBB.
Never heard of it.
It's a lawn game. You get, I think it's 5. You get 5 of these little things that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
You put them on one side. You get 5. You put them on the other side, and you put a king, which is one that's a little bit taller. It's like a foot tall. You put that one in the middle. And then you get these like wooden dowels that are about the size of what you'd think a stick of dynamite would be.
Okay.
And you have to throw those at the little wooden blocks.
And try to knock over
them over. You can't throw them sideways. You can only throw them overhand or underhand, and the bar has to be moving up like vertically. It can't be moving horizontally.
Uh-huh.
So you can't like whip it sideways like it's a bolo. And you have to knock over the little wooden piece. And if you knock one over, the other team has to take that cub, that little piece, and throw it onto your side of the field.
Okay.
And wherever it lands, you go set it upright. And now they have to knock over that one in addition to all 5 of yours.
Oh, okay. Sounds like it could be fun.
And if you hit the king, that's an immediate game over and you lost.
Oh.
So you have to hit you have to knock down all 5 of their pieces before you can try to hit the king.
Ah, it's like the 8-ball.
Yeah. You have to knock down all 5 of their pieces before you can hit the king. Every time you knock one down, they throw it onto your side, and now they have to knock that one down. And then...
Have you ever played that?
I've played it a couple times. It's fun.
Huh.
It's an interesting game. I don't have great hand-eye coordination. I'm okay at it. I'm better at that one than a lot of other lawn games. I think it's more entertaining than, like, horseshoes.
Cornhole?
I think KUBB is more entertaining than cornhole.
Huh, okay.
Yeah. Cornhole is fun. You realize people are going to have no idea what the hell cornhole is, right?
What is it normally called?
Bags. I don't know. It goes by a bunch of different names. I've heard cornhole. I've heard bags. I've heard
beanbag in the whole game.
Beanbag toss. It's got a bunch of different regional names.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll always know it as cornhole though.
Yeah, that's fair. That's what I know it as too. When I bought that little KUBB brick, it got to the house, and I was like, "Look what I got!" I showed it. And she's just like, "Why?" Because it's neat, and it was $11. And she goes, "Why don't you bring that to your appointment, and that'll just that'll indicate another reason why you have ADHD." I'm just like, "All right." I didn't bring it with me because I forgot. have ADHD.
Of course you did. You know, you could just put it on top of your keys so that when you grab your keys to leave, it's right there.
Well, my keys hang from a mirror by the entryway.
Or put it with your wallet. You know,
It's good feng shui to have a mirror right by the entryway. It also makes the room look bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.